Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 107. I'm your host Rico, with my co-host,
Dane Cody.
If you've never been here before, we get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. If you have been before, welcome back everybody. It's freaking another podcast.
It's a thing we do around here sometimes.
Yeah, we were late.
Podcast and stuff, talk about what you've been playing and video games and stuff.
Late last week, and we missed an episode. But we are back to the regular schedule.
That was all your fault.
Yeah, that was all my fault.
You were all like, no, I don't want to record when I'm in Mexico. I mean, Hawaii.
I don't think I had anything too exciting going on lately. I actually played a new video game.
Oh,
We'll get to. And I got a really fun story.
Ooh.
Fun PC gaming story.
Story. What kind of story do you got there?
Well, I'll get to it.
Oh.
You didn't have anything too exciting going on recently? Same old?
I completely forgot to actually put down what I was playing on this list.
No. Well, you can add it while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So
Rick, tell me your video game story.
I'm going to get to it.
Oh, jeez. Fine.
We
usually
start the show with what you've been playing, get into some news, and then public service announcements. And then, of course, like I mentioned at the top, talk about whatever the hell we like in our free-for-all section, which we may or may not have anything by the time we get there. But before all of that, we start with our designated drinking section. And Dane, what are you drinking?
Some scotch.
Scotch. Good, yummy scotch.
Drinking. Yeah, actually, I was down in the States a couple weeks ago, and on my way back, I stopped in at the duty free before I crossed the border, and I picked up a couple new bottles of scotch, one of which I'm trying to remember the name of right now. And the one that I'm drinking tonight is actually a Johnny Walker limited edition golden.
Ooh.
It's quite nice. Neat, as scotch is supposed to be drunk. It's
Drank.
Get your drink on.
So is that expensive stuff or just run of the mill?
This was not cheap.
What? It's the blue. It's the
not crazy.
Blue label that's their like super expensive one, right? Or pricier.
Of course,
one.
now you're gonna pull that out on me.
I don't know. If you don't know, just plead the fifth.
I'm not. Here's the thing. This is the first bottle of Johnny Walker I've ever bought because I know that they're a blended scotch. That's their forte is they wheel and deal in blended scotches. And I'm generally a single malt kind of guy. So this was the first time. The only reason I kind of went with it was not. Yes, they do have I believe you're right in the blue label is like $1,000 a bottle or something stupid like that. And then they have their black label and some of their other ones, which are significantly cheaper. But they didn't really ever seem to have kind of that sweet spot where I tend to buy scotches, where it tends to be between the probably $100 and $200 mark.
Bala.
So this one was closer to that sweet spot than I've normally seen Johnny Walker, and I thought I'd try it. So
it lasts forever too, right? So it's not like it's expensive, but it's like it's not like buying a case of beer every weekend.
No, exactly. Like I have a bottle that I'm getting lower now. It's a Glenmorangie. I think it's the Nectaris of theirs. And that bottle's probably 3 years old at this point.
Yeah, so if you break it down by like $200, that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So and the beauty too is of picking it up at duty free. I'm buying a $200 or $300 bottle of scotch in Canada for significantly less than that, right? So that's, that's kind of the way I also look at it as well, is I'm getting a significant price savings on it by buying it the way that I do. So it can kind of make it a lot more affordable, because part of it is the exchange and part of it is just the Scotch prices in Canada are crazy. $150 bottle of Scotch that I can pick up in the US for $60 or $70. So, and I mean, our exchange is bad.
That all
it's not
tax?
bad.
Is that all taxes and duties?
Yeah, a lot of it is. A lot of it is just
that is pretty huge.
A lot more of it in the US.
So even even after the exchange, it's $90 versus $150. It's still pretty big.
Mm-hmm. And some of them are more. Some of them are less. So
cool.
So yeah. So that's what I am enjoying tonight.
I'm drinking my wild berry gin and juice.
Oh, you're back on that.
It's good. I like it. It's really good.
I was on a bit of a gin and soda water there late last week, so
it's like, I think it's raspberry, strawberry, and some other fucking stupid berry. Hence wild berry. And then I got some
wild berry,
Bombay, and not the miscalculated extra special, extra crispy version. Just the regular stuff. Because anyway, it's really good.
Fair enough. Sweet. The Bombay Blue Sapphire.
So with that, I guess we can get into what you've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
I finally broke down and picked up PUBG. For those of you that ain't in the know, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S BATTLEGROUNDS, which is the fucking stupidest name for a video game. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's stupid. It's a weird name, but
it's a pretty dumb name.
Anyway,
I'm not going to argue with you there.
PLAYERUNKNOWN is the modder / guy who created the game, who kind of spun off these battle royale free-for-all type games that have been really popular lately. And essentially, I think he made mods for Arma 3 and stuff. So
I believe this was a mod, because isn't this based off the Arma 3 engine?
I have no idea, but
yeah.
Anyway, he made the mod for a different game, and then he's like, you know what, I'm just going to make my own game and sell 2 million copies and be like the third most streamed game on Twitch and probably one of the most popular games right now. So the hype got to me, and I'm like, I guess I got to check this shit out. I, talk about video games. So I caved in and I picked up. It's not very expensive. It's like $36.99.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, because I think every single podcast that I've listened to in the last week, 2 weeks, or maybe even 3, has talked about it at least once a podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. So when you hear everyone talk about it, you kind of got to check it out. So I picked it up on Steam. I think that's the only place you can get it. It's
$36.99. Early access.
$36.99 Canadian. I don't know what the hell it is American. It's probably like $5 American. Something like that.
$29.99. I think it's $30. Or $25.
It is early access. So it's got a little bit of jank. Those of you who don't know what this game is or what type of game it is, it's King of the Hill, Battle Royale, 100-player free-for-all. Right. Basically, there's a little lobby, fills up quickly with 100 players, and the next thing you're in a big B-52 or big military cargo plane flying over the map. And basically, everyone just starts parachuting out the back of the plane, which looks hilarious. There's like a bunch of ants like falling out the back of the butt of the plane. And you choose when you want to jump out. The map's the same.
Can you just not jump out?
I've always jumped out, so I don't know what happens if you don't jump out.
Okay, your mission, and you cannot not choose to accept it, is to play a map and just not jump out and see what happens.
I'll check. I'll see what happens. Maybe it does a couple laps. I don't know.
We're gonna check back with you next week.
Yeah, next. I'll remember that.
Write that down.
So basically, the map's the same every game. There's different ways to play. You can play squad, you can play duos, and you can play solo. I've only played solo.
Okay.
Basically, you choose when you want to get out, and then it's a mad rush for real estate. well, not real estate, but for cover and safety and armament, because this is like Metal Gear Solid procure on site. You start with nothing. Your bare hands, which you can kill people. You can punch them to death. I don't think it takes 5 or 6 punches maybe to kill someone with your bare hands.
Right.
There's melee weapons. There's pistols, Uzis, sniper rifles, machine guns, shotguns, crossbows. It's literally Hunger Games, but, with a twist. Of course,
right,
and everyone's
because there's also vehicles and stuff in the map.
Yes,
as well, right?
It's like it's a city. There's houses, there's farms, there's army bases.
Right.
I haven't seen
you
the
essentially
whole.
jump out of the airplane with nothing, and the
Yep.
idea is to get to the ground,
And-
try and find something that you can kill somebody with, whether it's a frying pan or a knife
Yep.
or a gun, or as the
Exactly.
kids call it, a gat.
and be the last
still
man
saying that?
standing.
Right.
So,
And you can like run people over with cars.
Yep.
You can punch them to death. You can hit them with frying pans, etc., etc. And the idea is just to not die.
Be number one. So I started playing it, and I'm like, oh, cool. I got nothing. I don't know if weapon spawns. Like, I haven't even had time to look up if weapon spawns are random or if they're set. So, like, if they're set, there's maybe an advantage to people knowing where stuff is. I'd hope they're random. I'm going to guess they're random because that would seem to be the most fair thing. Otherwise, it would always be people rushing to the same spots to get the good weapons. So I'm going to assume it's random.
I've heard that it's similar to a roguelike in where stuff spawns, because I've heard of some people having really bad rounds where they don't get a backpack for a long time, because I guess a backpack's kind of important because you got to put all your shit in it.
Yeah, because you get
I think
weapon
otherwise
mods,
you can only
first aid kits, and
right, and you have nowhere to put it if you don't have a backpack, right? I don't know. How much can you hold before you find a backpack?
I have no idea. There's no tutorial.
Jeez.
There's no real.
You played this game.
I did play this game, but I'm
man.
flying by wire here. I'm like hitting the ground, running, and killing people. I'm jumping out of a plane and figuring it out. Just like
Okay.
it was like.
Have you got
real
the
life.
chicken dinner yet?
I have not got the chicken dinner.
Okay.
Winner, chicken dinner. Nope. I have finished 20th twice.
That's it?
Then, yeah, that's it.
Man, you suck.
And then I've finished in the 50s like 2 or 3 times. I've only played about 5 games. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Actually, I'm going to get to that now. Remember that funny story that I mentioned?
Yeah, you've been teasing us this entire podcast.
So
I got this funny story.
before all this cool experience of playing this game and coming in 20th place,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in the plane. I'm jumping out. Hit the ground. Oh, I'm in this house. I found a shotgun. Oh, look, this asshole's coming to the house that I'm at. Because you can see everyone parachuting around you.
Right.
And it's a mad rush. You see another guy across the yard and you're both running into the house. It's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I grab a shotgun. I shoot that fucker because he came in the other door. And then I'm like, yeah. And then
boom.
Frozen computer.
Oh.
Hard lock. I'm like, oh man.
Dude, that sucks.
PC starts over. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's early access, man. It's, beta, alpha, omega, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's expected, man. Boot up the computer, go back in the game. And I'm like about, at that point I was like 82nd. I was still alive. Like,
Right.
I got the drop. I'm doing all right. Won my first encounter. I'm like, this is cool. It's really exhilarating. Like, this is a cool experience I've never had before in terms of gaming. So it was cool. Go back in, start another game. Same kind of thing. Hit the ground, find some weapons, I'm running around. Oh, there's this fucking guy. He doesn't even know I'm behind him. Pow! Dead. Yeah! Keep going. Some other guy comes around the corner, starts shooting at me around a barn, and I'm like caught in the front yard. Freezes again.
No way.
I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, okay. I try a couple more times and then it freezes again and again. I'm like, okay, this game's unplayable. At this point, I'm looking at my Steam time played clock and seriously considering getting
You're
a review.
at 25 minutes.
I'm seriously considering getting a refund.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, I gotta do a search. Maybe it's drivers, maybe it's a known issue, maybe it's something else. The only mention I could find was maybe 2 other people having the exact same issue. And then, I'm a PC guy. I built PCs. My PC I'm using now, I built.
Yep.
So,
welcome to PC gaming sometimes.
I haven't had any issues in years. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm like, it's got to be this game because my PC's been great with the exception of, remember, it's crashed on me playing Wildlands a couple times. Even while playing with you, that's happened.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's crashed in Wildlands since then, even with the retail. So anyway, going down a thread, one guy's like, oh, it could be power supply. And this other guy's like, it could be this. And then another guy's like, oh, maybe your computer's overheating. And then I'm like, it can't be my power supply. I have a dope ass power supply. I've had power supply issues before. They're a little different.
They could manifest in lots of ways.
Yeah,
but
they're the worst.
Everybody on the internet, the first thing they say is like, oh, it's probably your power supply.
So I launched the hardware monitor that came with my motherboard, and I'm looking at the temps on my CPU, and I'm like, okay, 59, 58, and I'm like, seems kind of high.
Seems fine, though.
Fine for air-cooled. Not under... This is like, remember, not under load. My system is water-cooled. So I'm like...
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Like, those are sitting at your desktop?
Sitting at my desktop doing fuck all.
Yeah, that's high.
I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, in a game, that's not high. Like, full load.
No, for sure.
That would be getting to the higher level of a water-cooled temp. But not out of the realm of, being normal. So I launch Battlegrounds windowed, jump in a game, and then right up to 80, 84. And then it turns red.
Jeez.
And I'm like, quit. Yeah, let's quit that. Okay, I know what my problem is. My shit's overheating.
Did you have a similar thing that I had with your water cooling where your your pump wasn't working?
I don't know if the pump stopped working or what.
Because that's what happened to me is my fan was still working, but the pump on my water cooling system stopped. So I would be fine cruising around Windows and doing lots of stuff. But then, like you said, as soon as I went into a game or did anything else, my heat would just jump through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Was that under warranty? Did you get it replaced or did you buy a new one?
No, that was a while ago. And no, I'd had that since 2011 or whatever. So it was way out of warranty at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I bought a new one when I did my CPU maybe a year and a half ago. So I think this summer it might be 2 years.
Right.
So it might be.
A lot of them have 3-year warranties.
Oh, so it might still be under warranty. So anyway, I'm like, okay, it's temp. That's what's going on. That's why Ghost Recon's crashing. That's why this is crashing. These games just happen to be more CPU dependent compared to like Doom and all the other games I play, which are all GPU, which is my graphics card. So I'm
still surprised that you haven't had or seen something like that. That's crazy.
But I haven't had problems. Like I would have, because I haven't had problems in so long. I'm kind of out of practice of being a hardcore PC fucking dude because everything's working. Yeah. You're not troubleshooting, and when you're troubleshooting,
unless that's your entire job.
Yeah, it comes to you quicker, right? So I'm like, hey, well, I figured it out pretty quick within an hour or so, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't have to uninstall shit or do weird shit. I didn't go into weird rabbit holes editing files and stuff. I figured it out.
Yeah, because right now with recording and doing what we're doing, I'm sitting at 37 degrees on my processor.
Yeah, I don't have temp monitoring software on my PC downstairs.
CPU-ID hardware monitor, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I have installed upstairs. I don't have it installed on this one. But anyway, I imagine the load's not much on this one. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, fuck. I'm going to go take off my heatsink and do some inspections. And I go and I go to the garage. I take it apart. Got compressed air. I'm blowing dust out of fans. I take the whole radiator and CPU block heatsink off my CPU.
Yep.
First thing I noticed, one of the screws is a little loose. No, yeah.
It's not great.
It's not great, but all the other ones were tight, so whatever.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you see in your thermal paste, did it look like you had like an actual good imprint there? Or?
Oh yeah, like three quarters of the CPU had a nice layer on it still. When I pulled it off, it looked fine. Like there was paste. There was paste there, so it wasn't like it was dry, barren ground.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I didn't have any paste to apply new, so whatever. I took it off, took the radiator off, and then I kind of noticed that I took the fan off. I'm like, oh shit. I had my fan blowing the wrong way. So it wasn't blowing cool air onto the radiator. So I don't know if that was the problem, but I also changed the orientation of the hoses and stuff and shook it around. Maybe there was an air bubble or something that fucked stuff up, and I can clearly hear the pump working now. I don't know if I could hear the pump before. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on it because it makes it's like my computer's quieter, but now it has a different noise that sounds different than fans.
The pump has a different noise for sure.
So I'm hearing that noise now, and I don't think I was hearing that noise before. So I don't know if maybe I might have had the orientation of the hoses and not the best way.
Do you have your CPU fans pointing out of your case or into your case?
The logos on that fan is pointing into the case.
I mean, if you stick your hand behind your case, are you feeling air getting sucked in or pushed out?
Now it's being sucked in.
Oh.
Before it was pushing out, but it's on the outside of the case with the radiator on the inside of the case. So pushing out, it was doing nothing before. It was just moving hot ambient air out, but it wasn't blowing air across the radiator. So I went on Corsair.
Do you have one of the big radiators that connects to the top of your case?
It's not the top, the back side.
Because, like, my radiator and my fan are sandwiched together.
Yeah, mine's sandwiched together, too. It goes outside case, fan, and then radiator. And I watched the Corsair video on how to install it to make sure I did it right.
Right.
So, anyway.
Because the only reason I ask is because how it's set up for mine is I've got it set up to suck cool air in at the front from my intake fans. I have 2 intake fans at the front of my case. They suck
I don't
air
have
in.
an intake fan at the front of my case.
And then I have my CPU fan sucking the hot air out the back. So it's an exhaust fan.
So you have your radiator on the back and then the fan?
No, it doesn't matter. No, my fan is... I have 2 fans. I have one on each side of the radiator.
Yeah, see, I don't have 2. I only have 1.
Yeah. And they're both...
Because you have the H80, I'm going to assume, right?
No, it's the...
It's the Corsair one, right? My old one had 2 fans. This one didn't come with 2 fans. I guess I could take one of my fans from the old heat one that I still have and put it on the other one. I probably could do that, and it would probably reduce it anymore. Anyway, long story short, we're going down a rabbit hole here. Who cares? Who cares about your problems? We're talking about my problems here.
I was trying to see if I could help you with your problems.
No, I help myself with my problems. I got down on I got down on my knees and I looked up to the sky and I said, "Dear Rico, help me with my PC problems." And then,
all right. Did the PC god smile down upon you?
The PC god smiled upon me.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a combination of the fan not blowing cool air over the radiator, so to dissipate the heat, or if maybe just moving the hoses around, maybe there was an air bubble and it wasn't pumping properly. I put it all back together, and ta-da, I went from 50-something to 25.
That's better for what you should be getting.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Because
you could have just had a bad seat on the first time too.
Cutting it in half is significant. I would say that is problem solved. And then
I've honestly seen bad seats on CPUs like that, very similar to that.
Yeah, maybe it could have been that one screw and it wasn't making a good contact. And
it makes a big difference.
I reinstalled the whole thing, watching the Corsair video for my heatsink, and did it exactly like the fucking guy did in the video. And now it's working like a charm. Under load, it's like 42 degrees.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can play Battlegrounds and it doesn't crash. So I'm going to imagine Wildlands is not going to crash on me anymore, which is pretty sweet. So I fixed that problem too. So as opposed to getting mad at everyone else about this,
sending your game back,
this brings up a different issue where people with PC problems who don't know how to troubleshoot PC problems, I feel like unjustly roast games. You know, like sometimes there's a game-breaking bug that causes the game to crash and you can't play and stuff. But then there's other issues like this, your personal hardware, but you don't also have the experience to figure it out and troubleshoot it yourself and fix it. And then blaming the game. Oh, the game's shit, it doesn't run. But realistically, the person might not know that there's actually just something wrong with their computer.
Hey man, I deal with this issue every single day.
This is your life. So
this is literally my life.
It was the last thing I wanted to do was fucking take my computer apart. I wanted to play this fucking game. But so now then I got to play. I got to play like I said, 5, 6, 7 games. 20th is the highest I've gotten, but it's a cool game. It's not the prettiest game. It's got a little bit of jank, like when you pick up items in the world and equip them, there's like a little delay, but I think that's like this client talking to the server side to make sure funny shit's not going on.
Right.
Anyway, it's been exhilarating because like I've already had some cool experiences where I get in, you can see 2 guys go to the other buildings and you're like, well, I guess I'm going in this one. And it's like, oh, rad. This one only has a pistol. Oh shit. I see him coming from the other building because he knows I'm here, because you can hear footprints and the stereo or the surround sound effects, whatever, are pretty decent. You can tell what direction someone is coming from. I'm playing with
audio is pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm playing with headphones and it's like, oh fuck, that guy's got a fully automatic and I got a fucking pistol. Oh, but there's a helmet and a bulletproof vest. So I got some armor. It's all right. I'm loaded up and I hear the door open. Okay, he's downstairs and you can hear that don't, like running around you can hear him running around downstairs. I'm like,
and you're thinking, this time I'm not going to crash. I got you.
Well, this guy's got to come upstairs, and I didn't pick everything up downstairs, so it also creates the guys that this house hasn't been fully looted. So he's thinking, because if you take everything out, then it's pretty clear that someone's been in that house. Sometimes houses buildings don't have anything, but I've kind of noticed my little game is I'm not going to take everything, because then someone will be defensively or aggressively searching the home, as opposed to like, you know, guns down, just like, oh, I'm the first person in here, right? Because I also closed the door behind me. So the thing is, if you see doors on buildings, all start closed. So if you see a door open, someone opened that door.
Right. So are you of the mind to close all the doors behind you?
Oh yeah, I close the door.
Or do you try to like leave them open and then kick the crap out of the dudes when they come in?
I close the doors behind me because I want it. Because I also want to hear that door open when someone comes in. Because if you leave it open,
right,
you don't. I don't know how the noise works when you're crouching. If it's just less or if it's none. I haven't figured that out. Like, I haven't read any facts. I'm playing trial by fire, figure it out as I go. So I hear this guy running around downstairs. Oh, he's on the left side of the house. He's on the right side of the house. He's coming up the stairs now. And I'm like hunkered in the corner with my pistol just drawn, and he's just like comes up the stairs. He doesn't see me at first, and I'm just, as soon as I see him, I'm like, pop, 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 drop him. He doesn't even get a shot off.
Nice.
Drop him at the top of the stairs, and then I can loot him. I've got his fucking SCAR fully automatic gun. I've got his backpack. I got a first aid kit. I got a bunch of shit. Now I'm all like full kitted out. Thanks, buddy. I go downstairs and you can hear gunshots in the immediate area, so you can also tell that people are fighting around you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that made someone in the area skittish, and I hear someone running outside, and I go look at out a window, and I'm like, oh, there he goes. He's going to that other building. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go after this guy. So I leave the building, and this is like, imagine like 4 old like cottage homes just kind of across from each other, like in a square, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all, you know, across from each other, not in a row, but like in a square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 corners of a square, the 4 buildings. So he runs over to the building on the right, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go after him. So I go after him. He left the door open, and he doesn't even know. He has his back to me. I'm looking through the window, and I'm like, oh, this fucker's dead. I just walk in the door. I've got a shotgun as well at this point that I got. So I had a shotgun, a SCAR, and my pistol, and I just like, he's got his back to me. I just walk like right up to him, and boom, right in the back. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, 2 kills. I'm like, this is awesome. This is like, we're in the 40s now. And then I'm like, okay, I got to get a car. I'm like, oh shit. The zone is closing. There's always this ominous, the thing with this game is like the map's pretty huge, but you can't just,
a very big map.
Yeah, it's really big. You can't just sit where you're at though. So you can't just hide in a closet and just like wait everyone out. There is like this impending doom of a zone that is continually closing and forcing you guys all to the center for like the final battle, you know, where the victor is going to be figured out.
Right.
So like, shit, I got to get in the car.
That's
so
smart though, because it keeps the game fresh, and it keeps people from just being able to hide out in this tiny obscure corner of the map.
There is some people are kind of complaining of camping in this game, but they've got some, like they're working on stuff for that, and some people there's been people complaining about cheaters. They already figured that out as well. Like people,
it sounds like this is the type of game where camping, you may have to do that.
At a certain point, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, that is part of that game, and you're gonna have to live with it, man.
So these zones like closing and getting smaller basically force you to move, right? Until like the ultimate ending. So I'm like, oh shit, I need a car because I can see this wall of light like closing in. And if you get caught behind it, you don't instantly die. It just drains your life down, but you will die if you stay in it, right?
Right.
So there's a
kind of like poisonous gas that slowly chips away at your life.
Exactly. So there's a little jalopy outside near one of the houses. I jump in and I just jump on the road. Okay, I'm going to go towards the center. And like I said, this is around 40 people left, so 30 people left. Not too many. And I'm like, sweet. I'm just going to go towards the middle. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. I killed a couple of guys. I got some good weapons.
So you're feeling like hot shit.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Like this is my first like real game, like without it crashing, and I'm doing pretty decent.
Okay.
So I'm going towards basically on this version of this game, the circle was closing in on like this big military base.
Right.
And I seen a couple guys, but they like zoomed past me on different types of cars. They weren't having anything. Like I crashed into one guy with my car, and he just was trying to drive away because I was trying to F him up so I could get out of the car and just like blast him. But
you're trying to start shit, and he's like,
no, he's
that.
like, no, I gotta go. He must not have had anything. And he got away. We go across this bridge. We're getting into the army base here, and I haven't seen anyone for a while. I'm like, okay, this is getting real. I'm like, I'm gonna get screwed here. I'm like, I'm gonna go in this building. It's quite central to the area. I'm like, this is where I'm gonna make my last stand. And I go in, I'm like, oh, cool. There's tons of weapons and stuff. And I'm like, God damn it. I didn't even see where he was. I'm going to assume...
Did it show you afterwards? Or no,
it doesn't
that's
show
it? You're done.
That's it. It just shows you your placement. It's like 20th place.
Oh.
And I'm going to assume he was inside the door because I opened the door and I didn't think to look to the right. I just like opened the door and walked straight in.
Okay.
So he must have been in that corner, like just waiting for people to come in and shoot them, as opposed to being across from the doorway.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
oh man. And then I had a couple other games with similar situations. And then my last game that I played, I had such awesome weapons. I had a sniper rifle. I killed like 3 guys. I'm like, I'm pretty decent at this game. Like when it comes to one-on-one, I'm killing people. Even if they're like have better weapons than me, I'm doing all right. This is my FPS skills coming in. I'm like, it's cool. And I'm like, shit. I'm in the fucking blue zone. The circle's closing. There's no fucking cars. So I'm like, I'm using a first aid kit and I'm trying to run just to find a fucking car. And there's just no cars anywhere. And I came, funny thing is I came in 20th again. And I had such good weapons that game. I feel like I could have done better, but I lost to the environment. Because I had been too slow at the get-go to get a vehicle or to get close to the circle, right?
Right.
I got to go and figure some things out, like some of the nuances of the game. But like I said, I played like 6 or 7 games, and I really wanted to just go in and figure it out. It is quite exhilarating being on your own. No one's your friend. Scramble for weapons and so forth. It's pretty cool. It's a neat experience. It's a cool game. It's, like I said, it's not the prettiest game. I imagine that's going to come in time. There's a little bit of jankiness to it. It's early access. I imagine it's only going to get better in time. But
yeah, you're probably right.
I had a lot of fun with it. I could see why it's a pretty popular game. And I can imagine playing in duos or squads could get pretty entertaining in terms of why this game is pretty popular on stream. It is really annoying though when you're in the plane. There's like a global voice chat. Oh my god! Every time it's F this, N-word that, F this, you're the G word, the N word. Like you just imagine every stupid thing a little teenage boy will say. And then like times it by 100 people saying it all at the same time. It literally is like the worst parts of the internet.
All shoved in an airplane.
All at once. It's like, oh my god. I'm like, I want to murder you all. Like, shut up. And you always have someone who says, shut up. And then everyone's like, you fucking asshole. I'm going to kill you, man. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
if you were in the same room as me, I would murder you.
The first thing you got to do is shut off voice chat for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I turned it off, but the last game I played, like during the game, so I haven't loaded another game to see if that actually turned that off. But anyway, it's kind of a cool game. I will be back with more stories now that I can play it, and I'll probably be a little more seasoned or veteran and do a little bit better.
Like I said, I want to know what happens if you just decide you don't want to get out of the airplane.
I think 20th place, though, in a couple of my first few games, I think that's pretty respectable from what I hear in this game. I've heard people talking about, like, they haven't even cracked 50, and, like...
Wow. Well, I guess out of 100, 20's pretty solid.
I've never finished higher than that, except for the times the stupid machine crashed.
Yeah.
So, what I see something you wrote down here. I don't know what that is.
So, kind of an interesting story. So, the Humble Bundle last week, they were giving away a free game.
Oh, I saw.
Off the Humble store.
Yeah, I saw this. You shared that on Twitter and on the Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. So, we threw it out there. I managed to grab it. It's called Dungeons 2. Now, if you ever played Dungeon Keeper, it's a little bit like that. You essentially build a dungeon, and it's like a reverse on a strat. It's kind of a top-down strategy type game, a little bit in some ways a little bit like SimCity, but instead of building a city, you're building a dungeon, and you start off. You are this total badass overlord dude. And I think they even call you the Lord of the Undying Evil or something like that. It's super tongue in cheek. The way the game the tone of the game is great. It knows exactly what it is. It makes fun of itself all the time. It's all of the fantasy tropes and the ridiculously good-looking heroes looking for glory, and you're the undying. There's all kinds of little jabs at Lord of the Rings and various other fantasy tropes. It's great. It really has a great tone. So it's interesting because half the game is a dungeon simulator. So you're building a dungeon, you're building traps, you're trying to get loot. Meanwhile, there's waves of enemies from outside that will randomly try to appear in your dungeon and kill your guys and steal your loot because, hey, you're the bad guy and they're trying to come into your dungeon and they've heard that there's loot down there and they want the glory and the loot and everything else. So half the game is that you're building traps, you can dig through the earth to build rooms and find treasure, and you build minions and you get other things that you can use to build traps. And then obviously you got to set these traps. And so it's like I said, it's like a dungeon manager. It's super cool. Very, very reminiscent of Dungeon Keeper, but there's a whole other half of the game, which I'm starting to get into now, where you amass a small army and send them out of the dungeon to ravage the overworld. So it's great because you send your guys out of the dungeon, and then that's where essentially these, like if you go up to the overworld and there's a town that happens to be close by, so you'll go ravage the town, get rid of the pub, which is where all the heroes are drinking and getting their fake courage on, and then they run into your dungeon because they want to try and, in their drunken stupor, they want to make a name for themselves. So of course you go up top and you raise the town and you get rid of that, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. Meanwhile, there's kind of I've been playing the campaign mode, which is, there's a semblance of a story. You were this badass dude, everybody kept fighting you, you got sick and tired of it eventually, so then you said, screw this, you went up top and you decided that you were going to destroy everyone, and you almost succeeded, but then of course the forces of good got together and banished you back into the dark earth underground somewhere. So you've been under there hiding and sleeping essentially. And so this game starts off with you kind of waking up and you're weak, and so you have to build a dungeon and try and get your strength back. So you're building dungeons and et cetera, et cetera. And there's each level, essentially they want you to do something. So in the first level, it was pretty much just teaching you how to build your dungeon and do things. And then as the levels have progressed, they've also integrated and introduced the overworld, where you can send guys out into the overworld, where you have to worry about not only managing your dungeon, because there's guys coming to attack your dungeon, mixed with you got to make sure that the guys in your dungeon are actually doing what they're supposed to, because you have to brew beer, which is the resource that you use to build orcs and things to fight. And then you have to find gold, which is what you use to pay your guys. So you have to brew beer and find gold. So you have to make sure that that's all happening so that you can pay and keep your warriors fed or I guess drunk and paid. Meanwhile, you're trying to strategize up top. And I mean, it's not super crazy real-time strategy with a bajillion different, the real-time strategy stuff is light when you're in the overworld, but it's the mix of the two that is really fun. I've never played a game that mixes them like this. Normally, you would play a game like this and it would be just a dungeon simulator where you're down there building this crazy dungeon, and that would kind of be that. Whereas this, because you're doing that, but you're also doing the stuff on the overworld, it's a really cool mix. I'm really liking it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, it's, I mean, easily one of the best free games I've ever got.
Is it a newer game or is it an older game?
Maybe a couple years old.
Okay.
Fairly new still. Fairly new.
Did you say the studio and I missed it? Who makes it? I'm going to guess that's done now, right?
It's yeah, it was. It was a Calypso published game. So, let's see here. It showed up on Steam April 2015, so 2 years old.
Not that old.
No, it's fairly new. Something wicked this way comes.
I think I was in Hawaii when I saw your post about this.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the...
Well, that's cool.
Oh, Realm Forge Studios was the developer. It was published by Calypso. So Realm Forge has done... They've done some good stuff. Oh, apparently Dungeons 3 is coming out this fall.
Oh, that would make sense why you're hyping it up.
Hey man, I got it given to me for free and I was like, cool. And shit, yeah. Easily one of the best games for free that I've had.
Of Humble Bundles.
Yes.
They have their Humble Indie Bundle 18 right now, which is a pretty decent bundle of indie games.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at Owlboy. That one's been on my radar for a bit. And it's part of the bundle.
If you're reading this, jump on Steam and check out what is it? Dungeons 2. Okay, so it's $33 Canadian if you're to buy it on
so for you is a pretty good deal. That's bad.
Like I said, man, I can't really complain.
You tweeted it, right? Or you posted it somewhere.
Yeah, no, I did. Absolutely. Like I said, it's such a cool idea of having the mix of it's like a real-time strategy game, but instead of having your base up on the top world and just worrying about what's going on, you're having to do all of the management stuff as well as the regular base building stuff, resource gathering and whatnot. Because there's a little more to it than your regular RTS game. But it's fun. It's really well done. Like I said, the tone of the game is really solid. They've done a great job of it's this ridiculously fun, light tone that they know exactly what they were going for, and I think they nailed it personally.
Yeah, it's not free anymore.
No. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was messing around with. And then a little something else was, I know, Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I played this too. I put a note down. I was going to talk about it when we got into the news because there's some Overwatch news, but we may as well talk about it now.
Yeah, there was... So I don't know how long the offer goes for, but...
It's still going.
If you log into Heroes of the Storm... If you log into Heroes of the Storm, especially if you had an account and maybe haven't played in a while, they're essentially giving away 20 heroes for free.
Yeah, I think we may have forgot to talk about it, or it happened while I was... I'm going to guess it happened while... it happened while I was away. That's why we didn't talk about it. Yeah, pretty sure. Because I shared the link on our Twitter and Facebook. Here's the Storm updated to version 2.0. So there's a bunch of changes to the game, the client. They've added loot boxes. And then the big thing that Dane was saying, they've added some new currencies, and they basically give you enough currency to buy a huge bundle. They have 4 different bundles. There's like an assassin bundle, a support bundle, a tank bundle, and then I can't remember the name of the 4th one. And basically...
It's kind of like a mix bundle, which is the one that I bought.
You can unlock 20 characters. Chances are, if you've played Heroes of the Storm, you may own some of the characters in those bundles. As I did, because when I went to go buy my bundle, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have 15 characters out of this bundle. I have 13 characters in this bundle. I have 12 characters in this bundle. Hey, I only have 5 characters in this bundle, so I guess I'm getting this bundle. That's how I shopped it. I shopped it by which one is going to unlock the most characters for me. And
I shopped it as I've unlocked 3 characters, and which one do I kind of play like? So here we go.
And they're not like, they weren't strictly only assassins. It was an assassin bundle, but there were still support and tank characters in there.
Yeah. And then I also got a few extra bonuses for having played before and things like that.
Yeah, depending where you jumped in, there was different. I've played heroes from the alpha.
Same.
So I got some. They added chests, loot chests to heroes.
Yes.
So I got like a veteran chest, and then I got like 12 epic chests and something like 10 regular chests. I got a bunch of extra currency above and beyond
what
they
level
gave me.
are you at in the game?
And that was the other thing. They convert your there was a player level that capped. I think it was 40. Is that right? Something like that?
I'm not sure. I just know that essentially what they did in this was whatever your level was, you got a whole bunch of loot boxes.
Yeah. So
pretty much giving you free loot boxes for all the levels that you didn't get one.
Done before, your account had a level, and I believe it was capped. I can't remember if it was 40 or 60.
Yeah,
and then
it was based on like how much you played, and
yeah,
each character has a level as well.
Well, yeah, and that was separate before. So now the way they do it is basically your player level is the level of all your characters you play together. So I'm like a level 127.
Wow.
I guess at 100, it was counting up, and at 100 it changed to like a different emblem. I imagine if you played lots, you could be a lot higher than that. And yeah, that, like Dane was saying, that I think also determined what kind of perks you got above and beyond like all like the free bundle.
I was impressed. I played since alpha, but I haven't played that much since the game came out. So, because not a lot of my friends were playing it on PC. Well, I guess it only is out on PC, so not a lot of my friends were playing it to begin with.
And you never mishmashed with our crew, and we were playing it a lot. Not that we're playing a lot lately, but I think this time last year, I remember
you guys were playing tons.
We were talking about it
when it first came out. So it was cool. It was a way. I mean, I wasn't necessarily planning on downloading it and installing it, but I was like, you know what? 20 free heroes. That is, I gotta jump in and see what that's all about. At least
they're like $5-10 a character. That's a
huge steal.
Yeah, whether you play it ever again or not, whatever. Who knows? They might have a promotion in another year. But funny thing is after I got all those loot boxes, they've added like voice lines, sprays, a bunch of new skins, and the loot boxes you can also get characters from. So I think I unlocked an additional 3 characters from all my loot boxes.
Okay.
Not a bunch. I think I got 2 like legendary skins and a bunch of like epic skins. So I got a bunch of cool shit from those loot chests. And I'm like, holy crap. And I was looking, I have like 45 out of 60 something characters. I have a lot of characters in this game.
Wow.
Yeah, we played it a lot.
That's cool though.
It's been a while.
Because that way you can pretty much play whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Smite. Because I bought the all hero pack way back in the beta.
Yeah, like the Founders Edition, basically.
Yeah, I get all the characters, and whatever they release, I also get. So I can play whatever character I want. I never have to worry about not owning it or not unlocking it or whatever. It's just whenever a new character comes out, I can play it. It's great.
So
I love it.
On top of all that, they've also added a bunch of quests that give you shit in Overwatch. There's some epic skins you can get if you play the incentive is they want you to play 5 games with a friend, and they've been changing.
I saw that.
They've been changing it up every week, and I think I missed the first week, which is okay because I already have that Oni skin in Overwatch. I think I might have missed a couple other ones, but during this week, if you play Heroes of the Storm right now, if you play 5 matches with a friend, doesn't matter what they are, you unlock 10 loot boxes in Overwatch.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Does those 5, can they be against CPUs, or do they have to be?
No, they can be quick play. Yep. That's when they had the last promotion a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I think I talked about it on the show. You had to play at 10. You got I think the Genji skin. At 15, you actually unlocked a few characters, plus some mounts and stuff. So we were just playing quick play against CPU, and we banged that out in a couple 1 hour sessions. 15 games. That's quite a few games. But
that is quite a few.
5 games you can do in an hour against
That's
CPU.
Awesome. Because on the weekend when I played, I'm not going to lie, I was just playing co-op games against AI.
No, it's fun.
Characters. I don't know. I find that when people are not playing against other people, they're a lot nicer.
Yeah.
If you screw up, they're not like, oh, you motherfucker, you're such a piece of shit. I hope you fucking die.
You lost the whole game. It's all your fault. Yeah. It's pretty rough when it gets competitive. Like, we had a lot of fun with League of Legends. And then we got to that point where, like, okay, well, beating up the CPU is not fun anymore. Let's play some real games. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Oh, okay, now we're getting our ass handed every game.
Yeah, it's because you hit that level, right? You hit a certain level where you're getting closer to... You're finding more and more people that are really, really good because you're getting closer to that level.
We won a bunch of games, and then it's like, okay, well, now we don't quite match up to this next level. And it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. We're all yelling at each other, and matches take 45 minutes, so they get really heated.
Because that's the thing that I started to run into even with Smite is the level cap is, I think, 20, and I'm at 18. No, the level cap I think is 30, sorry. And I think I'm at like 22 or something like that. And the problem is that, now whenever I go to play a game, it's matching me against a bunch of people that are, I'm getting people that are level 30, that are level 28. So I'm getting a bunch of those people in my games as well. And it's hard because that can quickly change the tide, rather rapidly.
Yeah.
And it can and sometimes it's fine because, obviously you're on the winning team and you guys are like, ha ha ha, suckers.
Mm-hmm.
But more often than not, you're on the losing team and then you're like, shit.
Yeah, because you're not MLG Pro playing 24/7. So
exactly. I actually found, I don't know if Heroes of the Storm has a mode because it's a little bit different. I feel like the modes in Heroes of the Storm makes it so that the game goes a little faster anyways.
Yeah.
I don't find that in Heroes.
A long match is 20 minutes, but most matches are 10 to 15. And so if you lose, it's not the end of the world. But when you lose those 45 plus minute match, in League, oh my God.
Well, that's the thing.
I could tell there was times where people wanted to kill each other. Like,
yeah. In Smite, that's the thing. Like, the 5-on-5 matches, they can get really long. Normally they're 20 to 30 minutes, but like you said, sometimes you end up in those 40, 50, even 60 minutes. And oh boy, when you lose those, it sucks. It hurts.
No, it really sucks.
All that time and you get fucking nothing essentially compared to how much time you put in. Yeah. You get nothing really for that. But Smite has a 3-on-3 mode. I think it's called Skirmish. And I've actually found that I'm playing that more often than the 5-on-5 because they're usually about 15 to 20 minutes is a long 3-on-3 match. So usually they're ranging between like 10 and 15 minutes. And that's a lot nicer time. And people are a lot more likely to, like, if I'm trying out a new character and I'm not awesome at it, I can be like, look, I'm still learning this character. I just started playing them. And a lot more people are a lot more chill about that, being like, oh yeah, that's cool, man. Don't worry, like, whatever. Because it's not such a huge time investment. Whereas, like, if I don't know a character and I jump into a 5-on-5,
oh God,
that can go real bad. Yeah, exactly. That can go real bad.
That's an asshole move.
No, and I agree. I never, even in Heroes or any MMO or any of those MOBAs, always learn a bit about the character before you run out there and play it, because otherwise, you're right, you're an asshole.
Yeah, Heroes is not so much of a big deal.
No, it's not as bad.
But yeah,
even I felt like a bit of a dick when I was running around trying to learn my character that I hadn't played in ages. And we were on, I can't remember. We were doing the one where you can curse the other team. You got to run around and pick up the tribute, and then if you pick up 3 tribute, the opposite team is cursed, and you do like
you kill
150% damage or one hit them or whatever,
and the towers don't shoot. They also have like 1 hit point as well.
Yeah. So you can really wreck shop.
So moral of the story is log into Heroes if you have it on your PC and get some free characters.
Totally. Even if you don't have it on your PC, it's a free game. Download it and give it a shot.
Stockpile characters until that day you build that gaming PC.
Yeah.
Just don't get me to put it together because I'll fuck up your heatsink.
Yeah, that's maybe not a good idea.
With that, I'm going to say we can get into some news. So, Nintendo's bringing Zelda to smartphones. Rumor says from the Wall Street Journal. Unclear if it's a port or an entirely new game like Mario Run, but apparently it's coming out sometime in the later half of this year.
Maybe a match 3 of the same color rupees type game?
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I guess coming off the success of Breath of the Wild, they want to keep the Zelda train going. I can't even imagine what type of game it's going to be. I guess this top-down really work. I don't know.
I mean, obviously it's unconfirmed at this point, but to me, like is this really news? I mean, I felt like at some point they were going to bring a Zelda game to.
They never mentioned it. That's the thing.
No?
They talked about Mario and Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem, but they never said anything about Zelda. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice surprise, I think. I'm really interested to know what kind of game it's going to be.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I feel like...
Are we going to be able to play this with one hand while eating a cheeseburger? These are pressing questions.
I feel like so far their mobile strategy, I guess if you say, has been very wobbly. How about...
It's been okay. Like, Mario Run's a good game, but it should have been free to play with the freaking...
hooks that it has in it.
Rip everyone off method that all the hand mobile games have, because people were turned off by that $10 price tag, even though you get the whole game. Otherwise, if they did it piecemeal, you potentially could have spent more money, but people are stupid and they're like, $10? No way! Meanwhile, people are playing Fire Emblem for free and spending hundreds of dollars on that game.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Speaking of Fire Emblem, I'm still playing that stupid game.
See, I log into Fire Emblem every once in a while, and I play a little bit of it. I play a match here and there and stuff, but I'm definitely not logging into it daily and getting crazy, that's for sure.
When you have a team of 5 stars, it really makes life different in that game.
And I think when I realized how much of a difference 5-star heroes made versus even 4-star...
I wish... other games, Transformers, took some examples from Fire. I really like in Fire Emblem that you can make your other characters, lower level characters, you could graduate them to 5 stars.
Yeah, with enough grinding and enough stuff, you can do it.
Yeah, like I already made one character a 5-star, and I already have enough for another 5-star, which is pretty awesome. I have 5 stars now, and I could make a 6th. I'm almost got a whole team of level 40s. The grind gets a little hard at the end. Like, I don't play it. I only maybe play one match or do some of the special maps a day, but I'm still playing it, and I still really do like it. But wow, the difference compared to when I first started playing it to when I restarted it to get 5-star characters, it's a pretty big difference. Yeah. Like, the 5-star characters are so much better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I realized having one 5-star character initially and on my team and just seeing the type of damage and whatnot that they could do, even though they were lower level than my other characters, I realized right at that point that the 5-star characters were pretty overpowered compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then obviously and
that game's doing really well for Nintendo.
Yeah, it seems to be doing really well.
I wonder.
So
I don't know if Nintendo's or if E3 is the place for them to show more of this game, but that's cool. I like Zelda. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
playing the shit out of freaking Breath of the Wild.
I look forward to finding out more.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, no surprise. There's another Lego Marvel game coming.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
It is coming, I want to say November 14th. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The game will be released.
We're going to get a full-length trailer on May 23rd.
And it says also for Nintendo Switch this holiday, but there's no date. Lego games are great. I think,
they are.
What is it? The Star Wars one is free on Games for Gold right now? The whole complete saga?
It is.
Yeah, that's a pretty good...
If you do not own that and you own a 360...
That's pretty good Lego game. They're
go
supposedly...
get that.
I don't have a child to play with them. Well, I didn't have a child to play with them with. She's obviously still too young, but I'm building the backlog. I have that game now, so I'll be able to play that with her when she gets a little older. And apparently the kids love those Lego games, and they're not terrible games either.
Yeah, fair enough.
The first Marvel one was pretty well received. So Ubisoft,
I own the first one. It's a really good game.
Ubisoft, whatever the hell you want to call them. They had their
Ubisoft.
They had their financials a couple days ago, I guess. And
could we call them Boobisoft?
Sure, why not? Boobisoft. They're French.
Ooh.
They like boobs, I think, and stuff.
Who doesn't? Come on.
They had their financial calls, and of course, out of financial calls come some information about the future of releases. And Far Cry 5 will be out before April 2018. I imagine.
I just want to point out that I really like the way that they did this. Instead of trying to hide a bunch of stuff and act like surprised, they pretty much stated, even before the earnings call happened, they released press conferences and said, by the way, Far Cry 5 is in development. It's scheduled to be released before the end of this fiscal year is up. We're working on a new Assassin's Creed game. They more or less just came out and said that these are the things that are happening.
It's the new Assassin's Creed, South Park, and The Crew 2, and Far Cry 5 are their games between now and next April. So, it's pretty obvious there's going to be another Far Cry. Now, the question is, what is the next Far Cry? There's some rumors of people talking about it taking place in the Midwest America, Montana.
I'd heard a rumor that it was going to happen in Montana, but nobody really knows what it's going to look like.
That sounds interesting. I don't know how that plays out with like the hunting and crafting systems of the Far Cry games, because I love the Far Cry games. They're really good. 3 was fantastic, and a big part of that was the villain was so good. I
really got to log back into that.
Oh god, Michael Mondo as what's his name? Zaz? I can't remember now.
Oh yeah, the main bad guy.
The main villain was fucking
crazy,
fantastic. If you don't know who that actor is, he's on You Better Call Saul.
Okay.
He's one of what's the fucking crazy guy's name?
You're gonna have to be a lot more specific.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
A lot of crazy.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
I did not.
Oh, people are screaming. Vass is his name in Far Cry 3. But he's a cousin of one of the bad drug dealer guys from Breaking Bad, which is, a crossover of Better Call Saul. Was like, anyway, that actor that played the main villain in Far Cry 3, which was fantastic villain character in a video game. He's on a TV series, and he's pretty awesome too.
Okay.
Anyway, I really like the Far Cry series. Number 3 was fantastic. 4 was more of the same. It might have been too much of the same, because I really liked 4 a lot, but
do you know that I own 4? It's actually installed on my computer right now, but I have not played it.
Yeah, it's a good game. But 4, I think it was a little too much of the same. That I love 4
so soon after 3.
I love 4, but for whatever reason, 3 was just amazing.
It's because 3 was the one that really popped, right?
Yeah,
3 was the one that did the different things.
If 5's gonna...
It was the first, right?
I'm hoping 5 has that same impact as 3 did on me. I'm kind of excited for the new Assassin's Creed game. And speaking of, South Park, this is also on our news. South Park has a release date, and it's coming out in October.
I can't believe that
October
Wasn't
17th.
that game supposed to be out last Christmas? Initially, and then it got pushed back?
I think it was this spring. I think it was always this spring.
Was it?
Yeah, but who knows? I could be wrong. I don't know anything. I just make this shit up as we go.
Yeah, maybe.
It was at the very least this spring, I think. I don't remember them saying it was coming out last year. I think that was wishful thinking of people on the internet.
Well, back at E3 2006, Ubisoft slated it for a December 6th debut. Then 3 months later, they said that they had decided to push it back to the first quarter of 2017, which would have been, like you said, this spring. So now we're getting it this fall.
Yeah, hopefully.
So it's almost a year late.
The last South Park was really good. This is a really good game. This is an awesome game. If you like South Park, it's a fantastic game. There's some fucking hilarious shit in there. It's like playing a season of the cartoon, but like the best season where all the episodes are awesome. And it's a video game. If you like South Park, man, you're doing yourself a huge disservice if you haven't played that game. It's funny as balls. Moving on. The Witcher 3 is getting a Netflix series. The novel.
When I first read that, I was very excited. And then I realized that they're going to try and make it live action. I don't know. So they announced that they're going to be making a Castlevania series a month or two ago. Mm-hmm. And initially I was very worried about that. Then I found out that it was an animated series, and they're going to be doing it hard R, but it's going to be animated. So they're going to be able to do all kinds of cool, crazy shit. It's going to look, or it has the potential at least to look visually stunning and not worry about being overly expensive, etc., etc., etc. So that made me happy. Now I heard that they were making a Witcher 3 or a Witcher TV series, let's be honest, because it's not just Witcher 3. A Witcher TV series. And I got really kind of excited because I thought maybe they were going to do the same thing with that. And then I realized they were going to try and make it live action. And I think that if done well, this could be absolutely amazing.
This is like Game of Thrones quality content. I'm pretty excited. When I saw Netflix, I'm like, this could be pretty awesome. If I saw any other TV, like if it was just a TV series, sci-fi or some other fucking channel, I would have been like,
short of Showtime or HBO, nobody else could do this and give it justice, because The Witcher 3 needs to be rated R.
It's a fantastic
and that universe.
Series. These books are beloved, man. They've been around for a long time.
I want to actually see if I can get my hands on the books, because I've heard that they're really good, but they're written in Polish initially, and I don't know if they've been translated well or not, or what that looks like.
Translated. Again, like you said, the question of but that's cool. Netflix,
yeah,
I'm down. No, I'm gonna check it out.
Me too. I really hope they don't muck it up as well.
Yeah,
give them the money and make them do it.
Most of the Netflix exclusive stuff has been pretty good, so
it's true.
That makes me definitely hopeful. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today for ARMS, specifically ARMS, and actually they tacked on a little bit of Splatoon 2 at the very end.
I did not watch it.
I jumped through it. It was a lot about modes, new characters, gameplay footage, talking about...
I guess my question is this a game that people are genuinely excited about?
It looks cool. I'm going to pick it up. It looks neat. Apparently the motion controls work really well. I am going to
hold off and see what other people think. This is definitely not a game that I'm overly interested in. That's for sure.
Well, guess what, Muff Ryan? They're going to have a global test punch instead of a global beta or test fire coming not this
May
weekend,
26th?
but the following weekend, the 26th, 27th, 28th, and then of May.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
that's
June
the
2nd, 3rd,
American
and
long
4th.
weekend.
So yeah, not this weekend, but the following 2 weekends still. So I think you can install it now. So yeah, you'll be able to get your arms on it and test punch it for yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so anyway.
You have to be a dad with that kind of dad joke.
So yeah, you'll be able to check it out for yourself. It looks cool. It looks really good. Apparently it's a like rock solid 1080p 60.
I will definitely take a look at it and check it out when they release it, especially the demo.
At the end of the Nintendo Direct, they also showed some of the single player mode for Splatoon 2. I will definitely be picking up Splatoon 2. I really like the first one. And yeah, so they showed some of the single player mode for that. They snuck on the end to make people happy. What is it? ARMS is June and Splatoon is July or something like that. Is that right?
Have they given Splatoon 2 an official release date yet? Because I was under the impression that they have not yet said when that drops.
I don't know either. We've probably talked about it, but man, there's so much information you forget this stuff. Splatoon 2. Is there a release date? July 21st. Yeah, I thought they announced a release date for that. And then ARMS is June something. ARMS release date. Man, this is cool having the internet. It just says June 16th. So the Friday of E3. Or after E3. Overwatch has an anniversary event kicking off next week, the 23rd. Is that what, Tuesday? Yeah, next Tuesday.
Yeah, next week.
It is an anniversary event. No details were announced. They just had a big video talking about their year in Overwatch, going over all the stuff they've done.
There's also going to be a anniversary edition that they're going to release.
Yeah, they're repackaging the Origins edition as the anniversary edition, which basically has all the same stuff, plus loot boxes and maybe a couple other things. But, yeah. So, yeah, tune in next week and we'll actually know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Free characters, new maps, new event. They're obviously going to have an event of some sorts. It's the freaking anniversary. Yes. It's Blizzard we're talking about. They don't fuck around.
Plus, Heroes of the Storm, Tracer Heroes going to be available. There's going to be a baby Winston pet in World of Warcraft. All kinds of stuff with their cross games.
That's the bonuses if you buy the anniversary edition. But seriously, who doesn't own Overwatch? They have like 30 or 40 million players, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people playing it.
Man,
that game really blew up for
That's
them.
a lot of moolah. Speaking of events, and we're not going to be able to talk about it because we're recording before it happens, so we'll talk about it next week. Destiny 2 gameplay event is going to be happening the morning of when this goes out, so we don't have anything to say about it now, but we'll definitely talk about it next week. So, yeah, if by the time you listen to this, you'll be able to figure out what's new. If you care about Destiny, I'm pretty excited for that.
I also want to point out that Farpoint is out now, which is one of the first VR first-person shooters exclusive on the PSVR. Apparently, currently I've been reading very good things about it. I think I'm going to have to maybe pick it up.
I have too many games.
I do too, but I don't have very many awesome VR only games. And that's where I paid a lot of money, as did you, to buy VR. And I can definitely say I've not used it as much as I would like. This, I feel like, would give me another excuse to jump in and enjoy myself. And I've heard that it's great.
It's reviewed pretty well.
It's been getting great reviews. And they're saying that it does, obviously in a couple of years, this maybe won't be sort of as groundbreaking, and it might be considered sort of one of those games from the beginning of VR. But at least for now, it does a lot of things right and is a lot of fun to play. So yeah,
I have too many games. That's the only reason why I haven't picked it up. PSAs, public service announcements. So that's it for news.
That's all the news you get.
Phantom Dust.
No more for you.
Phantom Dust re-release is free on Xbox One and Windows 10. You can pick that up now. I don't know if that's forever or for just a little bit, but it is available now. I'm going to guess that's a make good gesture for the newer version of the game that they were going to release that they canned. They were doing a remake, like a completely new version of like a sequel. I don't even know what they were calling it. Reboot. But apparently that didn't come together and they canceled it. So I think
they've essentially updated the original, added 16:9 aspect ratio, because the original was an original Xbox game.
Yeah,
so
I never
not
played
Xbox. It was pre-Xbox 360 on the original Xbox. So they've added support for 1080p and 4K. They've added 16:9 aspect ratio. Like you said, it's more or less a re-release of the game. But if you're into Phantom Dust, this is now a way for you to play it.
It was supposedly not a bad game. I never played it back in the day, but hey,
I did not either.
For free, I will download it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Speaking of Xbox, they have a giant backwards compatibility sale going on right now. So a lot of 360 games, actually even some Xbox One games are on sale. So it's a huge sale, but primarily 360 backward compatible games are heavily discounted. So a lot of classics from 360 are discounted. I've shared links on the Twitter and the Facebook. So if you're looking for this list is huge. I'm still scrolling through, like, Jesus Christ. I think like every really big game that's back compat is on sale right now.
Yeah. Even Mirror's Edge Catalyst is 67% off right now.
I think I'm going to get rid of my 360. I have no reason for it anymore, especially as they keep adding more and more games.
Age of Booty, 75% off.
And I think that's it for free-for-alls. Or for... I'm looking at the outline, so... That's it for public service announcements. Speaking of free-for-alls, I just added something.
Oh, you son of a bee.
Because I got some reactions on the Twitterverse. I have an extra week of vacation. My wife does not, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this week off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take E3 week off, whether I go or not, because why not? So I was going through and looking at my old passes and stuff, and I'm like, I kind of want to go to E3. So I registered for E3. I haven't got approved yet. If I get approved, then I'll probably make the effort of booking a ticket and then maybe figuring out where I'm going to stay. I almost lucked out on some free accommodation. Which didn't pan through, unfortunately, because that would have been amazing, because that would just greatly reduce the cost. So actually, anyone out there, if you live in the LA area, happen to be going to E3 and have some floor space available, and you're not going to stick stuff in my butt at night, and want to have me stay over at your house.
What he's trying to say is, even if you do want to stick stuff up his butt, he's probably into it as well. That's probably
let me know. I don't have the official, like, I applied for a media pass. I got approved last year. Was it last year when I was really butthurt that I got approved but wasn't going?
Yeah.
Or was it the year before? I can't remember. Maybe it was last year.
No, it was last year.
And I'm like, man, of course you guys approved me when I have no chance of hell in coming. So if they approve me, I think I'm going to go. It's kind of late in the game. I'm probably not going to get a lot of appointments, which will kind of suck, but I'm actually going to be going more to track down other media people and make make my relationships with the current PR people we have a little stronger by showing my face and chatting about people and hanging out with people. And of course, a bunch of people are going to Disneyland, and that sounds like freaking fun. So I'm down for that.
Oh, yeah, that does sound good.
So here's hoping it gets approved. Because the plane tickets weren't very expensive. And the other crazy thought I was having, because I had the week off, I was actually thinking about driving down there.
Oh.
Because it's not that far of a drive. But
I guess if you have a week off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at what, 2 days? 2 days pretty much straight driving to get down there?
2 days if you're a sucker. It's only a 16-hour drive.
I don't know. I've never driven it. I've always wanted to take like a sweet convertible and go down there along the Oregon coast and along the California coast and do it all that way.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a blast. But yeah.
Anyway, who knows? That might not happen. If I don't get approved, then that pipe dream will get crushed. They've taken a while because I actually put in the request like a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
I really need
down to the wire.
Yeah, I really need to hear sooner than later because I imagine costs are only going to go up the longer we go. I was actually looking at Airbnbs and stuff, so those aren't too bad. Those are pretty affordable. And they're like listed.
I wonder if it's one of those situations where now, because they've opened it up to the public, they're not as hurt to get more media and more press and stuff in there.
I don't know. They always took a while before, so
fair enough.
Maybe they're tossing my application around going, do we want to let this asshole in or not? Well, he's been here before. Or was that a mistake? I don't know. Maybe we'll let him come. Who knows?
He did smell funny.
Here's hoping. I kind of hope it gets approved, and I hope I can find some accommodations. I kind of want to stay with someone, like a fan or someone else in the media that's going. Like when I went to PAX East, I stayed with total randoms that I had never met before. Well, that's a lie. I met them at PAX.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So essentially, we'll see how that all shakes out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Maybe I'm going to E3. Maybe I'm not. We'll find out. Tune in next week.
Boop, boop.
Yeah. That's about it, my friend. I think that's a show. Unless you got anything to add. Episode 107 is in the gigabits, the ether, the hard drives, your ear holes. You can follow me
in
on
the cloud.
In the cloud, definitely in the cloud.
Yeah,
it's on
all the clouds.
It's on someone else's computer.
Woo-hoo.
It's locked behind the my cry. What the fuck's that big hack that just went down?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh shit! I guess you've had to deal with that at work, haven't you? Oh god!
Actually,
yeah, let's not
we've
talk
been
about
really
it.
lucky.
No, you've been.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Rick F No K RICF.
You can always come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, just because we were talking about it, it's 21 hours, 1,977 kilometer drive, counting the ferry.
Yeah. I thought it was a little longer than 16 hours.
It's weird.
Like I said, if you take 2 days and sleep overnight, you could drive there in 2 days.
They show the Coho ferry as opposed to the other ferry.
Huh. Interesting.
I guess that's shorter. Oh man, there's lots of construction on I-5. Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross right now.
It's like boop, 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 boop. I'm just looking down here. Or you can fly there for $283, 4 hours and 25 minutes.
Which is probably cheaper than driving anyways.
That is cheaper than catching the ferry and the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's on Alaska Airlines. Yeah, I remember looking at flights and it wasn't very expensive. Jesus Christ. I should just book a trip and go. That's really cheap.
There and back, $400.
Yeah, less wear and tear on my car. Oh,
yeah.
Here's hoping I get approved. Make sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Tell
all your friends.
It's all Geekoholics. Review us on any and all podcasting services if possible. And yeah, until next week, my friends, I'm going to say we are out.
Later.
Peace.